council meeting. First, we're going to do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Bierstead,
Here.
York,
Here.
Carroll,
Here.
Downey,
Here.
Morissette,
Here.
Miller, here, Odine.
Here. Okay, next move on to approval of the minutes from the September 24th meeting.
I so move. Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next move on to the approval of the bills with Ms. Miller.
Mayor and Council, I make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $2,417,059.48, subject to the comptroller.
Second.
Questions or comments on the bills? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next move on to public comments. If there's anybody in the audience has anything they'd like to say, come on forward.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Ferguson. I'm on the library board. Some of you saw me last night. I'm here because, as you well know, the governor gave us a grant. No, we worked for a grant of $4,080,000, $488, and I think 12 cents. Those are large amounts of money. But we just did a thing for 2 million bills this month, so you're a little more used to it than we are. We were a little giddy. I wish you could have been there last night. A couple of you were, and I appreciated that very much. The number 4 million kept coming up. We assumed that the governor was coming here, the only library that he went to for these awards, because we had the biggest award. We didn't. It was good. We're not, it was ecstatic. It was because of what this city and this council did 27, 28 years ago. Because you had a vision for this library that was 35,000 square feet. We have all had moments when we regretted that. Could we do a bit smaller building? It would be easier, but it wouldn't be as effective. And I felt like we watched, there were 7 other libraries doing their presentations. Their mayors were there. Their city community members were there. The staff was there. And I felt like I was listening to what must have gone on 27, 28 years ago. They were, most of them, asking to build a library. And I think, don't test me on this, but I think the largest one they were going to build was 3,500 square feet, or 35,000. So I am here on behalf of the library board and whomever in the library staff to thank you for the vision, for the persistence, for the money, then and now, because this city, administration and council, and you go together, helped us make that happen. So thank you very much. I just appreciate it enormously. And I'm wearing my sign in pride and humility. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Just to clarify, if I want to speak about 2 or 3 different things, can I get 2 or 3 different units of 2 minutes? Hi, I'm William Hanson. Good evening, cousin. I'm from the town of River Falls. At our last meeting, I talked about the potential emergency usefulness of the 1.2 million kilowatt hours of electricity produced by our Junction Falls Dam and hydroelectric generator. It would seem that this local power would be an invaluable resource that could be used to support specific critical needs in times of grid or other infrastructure failure. Could our local hydropower be used to maintain the services of our municipal water supply? Or perhaps even more importantly, our sewage disposal system, which is conveniently located near this potential power source. Look at the current experience of the residents of the city of Asheville, North Carolina, for example, if you question the importance of these systems and also of their infrastructure vulnerabilities. From your position as elected shepherds of the welfare of the residents of the River Falls community, and with your expressed interest in community survival and sustainability, it would seem that your exploration of the emergency usefulness of our local hydroelectric generating capacity should be thoroughly explored by you before there is some disastrous, unexpected, natural, or cyber crisis. Check your options. Be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's nice to have Scott here tonight.
Okay, anybody else? Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment if I can.
Yep.
So this evening, I'm going to speak on something which is not an agendized item. It's on no one's radar, and at this point, probably is not something we think often about. When you look across this table, we have an average tenure of about 8.6 years. When we look in the longer pattern, we see that we oftentimes are struggling to fill people to serve and commit on local boards and for some of the other positions that we need throughout the city. So think of this as a quick call to recruitment and renewal. We need this table to have rotating voices. It is not to impugn the motives or the work that my colleagues do. They do really good work, and I'm proud to be a part of this group. But we need different voices to come out and vote, or to come out and run for office. We need people who want to participate in this thing in a different capacity. This city is changing, but for the most part, we haven't. Many of these members have been seated here since either Barack Obama or Donald Trump was president. So we do need change. But it's not change for the sake of change. We just need to have new visions, new ideas as we execute upon a well-run city. So I want to use this opportunity, and I'll continue to use this 2 minutes that I get to try to reinvigorate what I'll call the River Falls idea. The River Falls idea is that we're an excellent place to work, live, worship, shop, and participate in. To keep this going, we need a larger table, but we need to rotate the voices on occasion at this table. I am not in a lifetime seat. No one else is either, but we sometimes look like we are because we don't get challenged. So I just want, for the couple people that show up and watch, for the people who cover this in the media, to think about ways that we can engage to have more folks showing up and participating in our election process and serving. You look at the healthiest boards, oftentimes they do put term limits in place, because when people serve for 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 years, there's just going to be inherently some lack of growth. So the call I have today is ask for people to get into the game, to quote Theodore Roosevelt, to be in the arena. Sometimes you do get marred, sometimes you do get bloodied, but we do need a different, diverse, occasionally quarrelsome people to show up and sit here with us. I'm going to end with just a quick quote. There's a story that the Irish like to tell about a man who arrives at the gates of heaven, and he asks to be let in. And St. Peter says, "Of course, just show me your scars." But the man replies, "But I have no scars." And St. Peter then asks, "What a pity. Was there nothing worth fighting for?" Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else have anything? Yep.
I don't know if you're going to talk on this in your good news report, but I just wanted to remind all citizens of River Falls that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so if you are in the age range to get your mammogram, please do. Otherwise, make sure that you are encouraging your family and friends to do so as well. Thanks.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. First thing is a resolution approving the purchase agreement with Kristin D. Nelson for property located at 431 North 2nd Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull consent agenda number 2.
Yep, go ahead.
A resolution approving the purchase agreement. property located at 431 North Second Street. I'm in favor of this. I've talked about the need for a roundabout before. From my understanding, though, this review process might indicate some different form of, road type of fixing, and it's well needed. This is a very good thing that we're doing and giving it attention. What does that review process look like, though?
Yeah, so the purchase of the property doesn't lead automatically to any particular configuration of that intersection, but it does give us some flexibility for design, which would include a roundabout, potentially at that place. But we'll be doing a review, kind of an area plan. We're looking at Main and Union all the way over to Main and Division up to the 2nd Street to try to see how that traffic works in that area of the library and St. Bridget's. So the review is to get some concepts, understanding of traffic patterns and other things, and then ultimately you have to kind of look at geometry to see what fits and what your options are. But it's not a in the next year or two project to get the construction, much like what's happening at Wasson and Cascade. We set things in motion and then it happens years after that, which also includes us trying to achieve federal and state funding of these improvements.
Thank you. And yeah, to me, this is a logical planning step to get to those goals. So, Mr. Mayor, I'm in favor of this, and I move approval for consent agenda item number 2.
Second. Okay, any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next, we move on to administrator's report.
I do want to highlight that the fall cleanup is this week, even though it doesn't necessarily seem like fall every day. This week through Saturday, October 12th at the Public Works Garage. Residents can bring their items to 950 Benson Street from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. If you need more information about the event and what items can be brought, you can look at our website, rfcity.org. And the city's yard waste is also accepting electronic recycling now. As with other services at the yard waste drop-off site, those are for residents of the city. Various electronics can be brought to the yard waste site. That's at 901 West Locust Street. Best times are Tuesday and Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. And Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that'll be open for some time into the fall with leaves and yard waste. This week is Public Power Week, so I want to thank our public power staff. This morning we were able to host some community members for coffee and donuts to celebrate our nearly 125 years of public power in River Falls. South Wasson Lane reconstruction is ongoing with expected completion by the winter. We are maintaining two-way traffic on Cascade Avenue, but the public should be aware that there may be frequent lane changes because the roundabout is constructed in phases, and those phases include more than once around the 360 degrees. So they'll move phase 1 around, phase 2 around as they're completing. So people really need to be aware during construction season here about those lane changes. And be able to take any questions you might.
Thanks. Anybody got anything for Scott? Okay, I got a couple good news things I'd like to read. As Rebecca kindly pointed out, yesterday the River Falls Public Library was awarded a grant of more than $4 million that will be used towards renovations and upgrades to the current facility. The governor is here and he took a tour of the library with Tanya, and she pointed out the appointments and the improvements and everything we wanted to do there with the money. And this grant is going to make a real difference in bringing our library into the future. The other thing was last night they had a badging ceremony at the police station or at the fire station. So I'd like to say congratulations to the 6 firefighters with the River Falls Fire Department who recently received promotions and were honored on Monday at a pinning ceremony at the fire station. Those receiving promotions were Troy Malmer, Adam Meyer, Chad Zies, Greg Deach, Phil Balmer, and Cody Peterson. That's all I got. So we will recess into closed session for Wisconsin State Statutes 19.85 IE deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. To wit, negotiation of rural fire contract. I'll take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, move into closed session.
Second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Kirsten,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Downing,
Yes.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Odine.